dimming the darkness tonight as a heartbroken community asks questions like why and how.
I just feel like we have failed him.
Jan Davis worked in the lunchroom at Gavin's school before his parents pulled him out last fall. She, among others, at Canesville Elementary, knew he could be in trouble.
We would notice him sneak over to the garbage cans where the children empty their trays, and he would try to sneak food out of the garbage can.
During that school year, Davis and some of her colleagues started putting money on the boy's account to make sure he had food at school. But sadly, she says they were forced to stop after Gavin's stepmom realized it was happening. For the first time in her life, Davis reported abuse and neglect concerns about a student directly to DCFS.
Did you read through the arrest documents of his family members?
Yes, I did.
What?
I have been a mess.
Lights are dimming the darkness tonight as a heart...
Okay, you guys. Hey, this is something that I had come across when I was on the internet, and I wanted to speak on it because these people that are supposed to be protecting children at these organizations, if they are not doing their jobs, they need to be fired. They need to be fired. They don't care about children. They don't care about the welfare of children. They care about a paycheck, and they need to be fired if they are in these child protective, so-called child protective service organizations or any other type of organization that may be out there, whatever. If they're not doing their jobs, they need to be fired. These children in this world need to be protected from these savages that only the ones that call themselves parents but are not parents. They are demonically possessed. They are mentally disturbed. They hate children. They hate God. They hate everybody. They have deep wounded psychological issues. And then a lot of them have the audacity to bring children into the world, knowing that they themselves are crazy and not qualified to raise children. And unfortunately, no child can choose who his or her parent is. No children can choose who their parents are, unfortunately. And the world calls itself, and especially particularly I'm focusing on the United States because that's where this case took place at, the situation took place at, that they will go out there and they will form these organizations that are supposed to hire people that put the welfare of children up, that are supposed to put the welfare of children above all. And then when concerned adults bring it to their attention that a child's life is in danger, they act like it is nothing. They don't take the necessary action, the necessary precautions that they should take to protect the children. It's almost like they want some type of concrete evidence. I don't know of any more accurate concrete evidence than death. That's the concrete evidence that they're looking for, is death. Then after the death of the child happens, number one, these people keep their jobs. A lot of times, I believe, if I'm incorrect, Father, forgive me, but they keep their jobs when they didn't do their jobs. Why are these people not being fired that are not doing these jobs and that are not protecting these children? It's like the people that don't work for the organization have more qualification for the job to protect children than the ones that are hired to protect children. You understand what I'm saying? These people need to be fired. They need to be fired. They don't need those jobs. And I don't care who don't like what I got to say. Because no child should lose his or her life. No child should be behind closed doors starving to death, being neglected, being yelled at, screamed at, cussed at, probably called all sorts of curse names, probably exposed to all sorts of inappropriate behavior from adults and between adults. A lot of them are being molested, and then when the adults are reported, a lot of times in a lot of cases such as this, Child Protective Services do nothing. They don't value the lives of children. So why are these people employed at these organizations when it is obvious they care nothing about children, when it is obvious that they are just as demonic as the ones that are mistreating the children? Because when action is not taken, they are condoning the behavior of the one that is inflicting an injustice upon a child. They are just as demonic. They are just as wicked. They are just as satanic as the people that are murdering, harming, and abusing and neglecting these children. Something needs to be done about it. These people there needs to be a clean sweep only for the ones that are not doing their job. They need to go. They need to get up off of their lazy behinds, and they need to be kicked to the curb, completely out of the building. Because there should be no such thing as people going to a child's funeral, especially when adults have brought it to the attention, have made reports that a child is being neglected, that a child is hungry. There's no excuse for that in a world of adults. There's no excuse for that. And of course, it is not the fault of the adults that are trying to help the child. It's the fault of the adults that were hired to help the children, and they're not doing anything but sitting on their lazy tails, thumbing through papers and typing on computers, perhaps. Something needs to be done. These people need to go. If they can't do their job, if they're incompetent, they need to be fired. Plain and simple. How hard is that? How hard is it to tell somebody to hit the road jack and don't come back no more? You're not doing your job. How hard is it for people to understand that people are tired of burying children because of the negligence of people that are not doing their jobs, to put these parents, so-called parents, these scumbags behind bars? How hard is it to lock up a scumbag for disrespecting a child, for treating children like trash, for murdering children? People always want to wait until a death occurs to do something. It's just like if there's a dangerous intersection. They'll wait till somebody gets killed. Now all of a sudden they want to put up a caution light, a traffic light. But they'll wait till somebody gets killed. You know, it's crazy. This world is just absolutely insane. It's just absolutely insane. The things that a lot of children are being exposed to. Even children, I've seen children on the internet using all sorts of profanity, not being corrected, and it's being filmed and put out to the world. What kind of craziness is that? You don't allow children to speak like that without correcting them and disciplining them. This world is sinking more and more and more lower into moral decay. It is morally decayed. We live in a morally decayed society. And it's not everybody. But it's enough to where this world, it just looks, it's toxic. It's enough to make a negative impact in the world. And then when you've got people that want to make a positive impact, it's almost like people try to render them powerless. Like, oh, your voice doesn't count. We hear you, but we don't hear you. These people need to, you know what they need to hear? The door slamming behind them as they are escorted out of the building. Because they've got blood on their hands. And for that little boy, what happened to him? The people that had the power to help him and didn't, they have blood on their hands. They have the blood of a child on their hands. They have bloody hands. They have murderous hands. They're murderers. They're just as much a murderer as the one that took the lives of, as the ones that, or the ones that took the life of that little boy. We've got a bunch of murderers sitting behind a desk that don't care about children, don't care about nobody. They want a paycheck. Something needs to be done. Something can be done. People need to come together and do something about it. Because there's no excuse for burying a child under those circumstances. because it's obvious that a child is being neglected.